Hey DC. Yeah, I hated having to bail on his stream last night because when I finally got to sit down and hang out, he was much further along in the game than I was, and I was like, oh, kind of wanted him to watch him solve some of the puzzles that that I had already done. Dr. CDCS is who I mean. I am making room on my desk for dinner because dinner's coming. My wife went out, had a dinner meeting with a bunch of execs in the hospital, you know, important people stuff, right? And bringing me home some sushi rolls and sashimi and kinds of good stuff. Probably won't be the worst food to eat on stream. Maybe? I don't know. Take it all up as I go along anyways. How are you doing tonight, DC Bueller? The music, you know, you said you fell asleep during Doc stream. The music in this game is, yeah, 100%. Oh, is that what your problem is? Fascinating. All right. There. Oh. Saving money is hard. I really want to remodel the garage and have a huge streaming room that's 4 times the size of this. But I also want to buy more things and eat expensive sushi. We're getting there though. It's a long-term commitment, that garage remodel. But it's a couple years away either way because we got to pay off debt now and save up with the shed so that we can put the stuff that doesn't have anywhere to go once we don't have a garage in it. You know what I mean? Looks like Haggard tonight, 11:30 p.m. Is that 8:30 p.m. Pacific? Maybe. He's going to be unveiling some cool new stuff for his stream. He's been really hard at work the last 2 days, making his stream look awesome. He looks like Blood Lily inspired his ass. I was joking with him at a PM. I was like, looks like somebody got him fired. There's your spoiler. Lots of fire. Looks real good though. So if you're around what, hour and a half or so, whatever that time is, you should go pop in. I won't be hurt by it. Okay. I think I'm ready to go. I think we're just gonna roll. I don't really, when food gets here, I'm just gonna make you guys watch me eat sushi. So, whatever. Okay. Like we all got everything, I think.
Front, right.
Yeah. We're all good. Nope, I need that. You can go away though. Here we go. Rock and roll. Time for Kathy Rain. I just banned a whole bunch of bots before the stream started today. Just like weeds. I don't usually care about the bots, but I started to come around on that and started not liking having them here when the hate raids were happening and stuff. So I'm just banning everything now. Like I check it against a website, but normally I was just like, just leave them. They're not harming anybody. Then there were bots that harmed people. So, that whole thing. One quick question, okay? One very slow RDM Havoc styled answer. Let's go. know, I don't know if, like, I'm picking my hand up off the desk, or if there's a part of this mouse pad that doesn't read the mouse right. It's just really weird. Oh, there wasn't anything I didn't like about it. Let me make sure I read what you said. No. I started playing it, I fell in love with it. And I decided to not play the original and to wait for the director's cut to come out. I think Dr. CDCS said he didn't like the ending of the original. And then he wanted me to play the ending of the original. No, I was waiting for this version. Because I was just like... When we streamed this, I was fucking enamored with it. In a way that I don't usually get for this kind of game. The only other game like this that I played that I want to get back to is Flight of the Amazon Queen. Flight of the Amazon Queen I would like to play more of. Sorry, that neck and back and pulled muscles and all that is just dogging me hard. So if I just hit continue, are we good to go? We should be, yep, day 2. Yeah, no worries.
Makeup check, hair check, horrible mood, and Eileen's closet, filled to the brink.
So it seems like, oh, the computer has a note on it. Look at that. Or no, is that a file folder? I don't know.
Oh, what's this?
A note!
Hi, Cat. Feel free to use my computer while I'm away. My password is Angel Love, without the quotes. If you call my friend Dave at 555-2492, he can set you up with some software.
Just
I'll
install
be back in a few hours, super psyched about the investigation. E. P.S. No gum on the keyboard, please. Remember the last time? Oh, please, like she actually uses the spacebar. Shit, looks like she forgot to write down the username. Oh well, shouldn't be too hard to guess. I think it's just some combination of her first and last name.
Hacker Dave. What is her name again? NRG. These fingerprints here. Nicely done.
Floppy disks go in there.
GG.
Flop.
Blue Pill OS. Is this a Matrix thing?
Hi, Cat. Feel free to use my computer. My password is Angel Love, without the quotes. If you call my super that missing.
How many times am I gonna type anal love? Alright, Eileen. Suitcase has her last name.
Eileen's girly suitcase. There's a sticker on it with her full name.
Eileen
Mildred Summers.
Okay. I was gonna write that down. For anybody that was here and missed my amazing drawing of the woman at Chick-fil-A. It's funny. That shit was funny. Because they put them in these boxes and send them outside to take the order so they don't get rained on. Was, oh, Chick-fil-A girl. Shit was funny. Eileen Mildred Summers. Some combination. Accounts are locked after 4 failed attempts? Yeesh. It ain't Angel Love. Wrong. Okay. Oh, E. Summers. There we go. Look, I'm a hacker now. Hello. No? Okay. This music's great.
Nah, I doubt I need to mess with this tape.
Okay. I don't know why I would need to do that. It just seemed like something that could be done.
It's some advanced scanner thingy.
Oh, you know what we need to do? Let's do this. Why don't we take that photograph and we put it in the scanner? Yeah. Let's see what we can do here. Can I not? Okay. Well, shit, can I scan anything else? Oh, we got rid of the thing. I don't think there's anything else we need to scan.
This picture is in good shape. I don't think it needs to be analyzed.
Is there a phone in here?
Messy. Just the way I like.
Oh, yeah, there it is. We gotta call our friend. Hacker Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Kathy. Eileen said to call you about some software.
Ellie who?
Eileen. Red hair, glasses, speaks so fast her gums ache.
Oh, right. I thought her name was Errol. Figured it was kind of a weird name for a girl.
You must have a hearing disorder.
You must have a thinking disorder. Burn.
Wow. Just wow. So, the software?
Oh, yeah. No, can't. Not really.
I knew she was full of shit.
Nah, I mean, sure, I used to be able to get pirated software, but not anymore. There was this misunderstanding and my network privileges were revoked. Me and Clyde, the campus IT guy, don't really see eye to eye. We used to play bocce together, and let's just say he is one sore loser.
Can't you just patch things up with the guy?
No way. He's such an ass. He even thinks TNG is better than the original series.
He thinks the what is better than the what?
I know, right? Can you believe that guy?
Can't you just hack your way back in somehow? Isn't that what you do?
He blocked the Ethernet port in my room. I don't even have physical access.
Don't you ever leave your room? Use a computer in the library or something. Aren't they connected to the network?
No, there are cameras in there. Clyde is just waiting for me to make a move so he can get me expelled.
You call yourself a hacker? Just use your brain, for Christ's sake. Let's figure this out.
Wow, you're so sassy, Nancy Drew. Well, okay, only an admin account can change the access port. The only way to even theoretically crack one would be if Clyde logged onto a machine to which we have unrestricted physical access. And... ooh, I got an idea.
I'm not gonna like this.
Well, what you could do is intentionally crash your PC.
That sounds especially stupid.
Well, not crash it, just crash it a little, then call Clyde. Clyde will come over to fix it. If you're lucky, then he'll log onto the network using his admin account. Afterwards, you can use some of my tools to find and crack the password locally.
Worth a shot, I guess. Okay, you can come over and set it up.
No way. I have severe IBS, it just wouldn't work.
IBS? What the hell is that?
You seriously don't want to know. I'll have my buddy drop off everything you need. It's not rocket science. You do what I ask, and I'll get you some juicy software. Quid pro quo, Clarice.
Whatever, weirdo. We'll see.
Yeah.
You've reached Erica Wade.
I think I need a more Not that I don't love this.
I was just wondering. Thump, thump. Let's go. Oh, Jesus, really?
Floppy disks go in there.
I know.
Floppy disks go in there.
Drag and drop. Cute animation. I like it. I like the animation. It still says empty though. Thinking? What are you thinking about?
Floppy disks go.
Uh-huh. Oh, it is in. I thought I pushed it. I took it out. Okay. Unreadable floppy in the drive. Let's call this jackass.
Yeah?
Hey, it's me again, Kathy. I'm not sure what to do.
Can't talk right now. In the middle of a game.
Douche. It's labeled boot. 1.
Oh.
Boot your computer using the blue. 2. Use the corrupt MBR utility to crash the file system of the computer. Take the floppy out and reboot. 3. Call Clyde at 555-8181. Tell him your computer crashed and give him the error code on the screen. He'll come over and have a look. It shouldn't take too long for him to fix. 4. Now comes the crucial part. You need to somehow make him log on with his admin account. 5. Reboot and retrieve the admin credentials using the blue floppy. 6. Reboot and log on using Clyde's admin account. 7. Look for some kind of tool to remotely open my Ethernet port. Dorm B, room 8.
I thought you said he
That's
physically
it. And
blocked
remember,
it.
if you mess up somewhere, just call Clyde, and he'll have to take care of it. It's his job after all.
Okay. Tundra BIOS. There we go. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. "66 megahertz. All right. 0x84. Let's go.
All right, time for some expert.
Because this is the school's computer. They loaned it
Hi,
to
T,
her.
this is Clyde speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, I need you to come and fix my roommate's computer.
What seems to be the problem?
It won't start up. There's some kind of system failure with an error code on the screen.
Probably a hard drive failure. Which room are you in?
Dorm A, room 5.
I'll be there in a few minutes.
I didn't get to tell him the
Thanks.
code. I memorized it.
Hey, Clyde from IT.
Good lord.
Hi, come in.
He's about to ask about a stapler.
My, oh my, now how did this happen?
I have no idea. It was like this when I started it up this morning.
Let's have a look. And presto, good as new.
That's perfect. Could you try logging on real quick just to make sure it works?
You go ahead, I'll wait.
I gotta fail it out. I gotta fail it out. I gotta fail it out 4 times so that he has to unlock it. I know what to do.
Oh, now look what I did.
For crying out loud. Let me try to log in with my account.
Did I forget a step?
Okay, everything seems to be in order. I've unlocked your account. Please, try not to break anything else.
Oh, I'll try.
Did I forget a step there? A sweet new game that you've never seen before? Yeah. This, I'm liking this game. I mean, I have. Waiting so long. Did you finish it last night, Doc? You went really late. You did? All right. Admin and gadget. All right. Fix it and shut down. Pull the disk. Jesus, you almost went 12 hours. Yeah, I planned out four extra streams for this. Trying to figure out what to play for tomorrow. I know my next game's gonna be Arthurian Legends. It was surreal because one of the devs came into your stream too. Yes, that's so awesome, dude. I had that with Grapple Hoops. The solo dev of that game popped in and just thanked me for playing this game and chatted for a bit. And as he left, he's like, "All right, I gotta go. I gotta study for an exam tomorrow. I'm still in high school." I'm just like, "What?" And then we were all like, this game was pretty rad, right? A little rough around the edges, but pretty rad. And everybody, we were just all kind of blown away that a high school kid did this. Like, wow. Gravity Hoops is an amazing game until it's not. There's this particular helicopter fight, or helicopter hoop, that is trash. Sorry. Okay. So now we gotta call him, we got the code. But the game is just that silly kind of fun that you just keep wanting to play. I love it when devs pop in.
Hey, it's me again, Kathy. I'm not sure what to do.
Can't talk right now. In the middle of the game.
Douche.
Am I supposed to log in with his? Oh, right. I need to log in with his, right. It was admin and gadget. I don't know why I remember that. The first time it's ever happened to you, so super awesome. That's great. That's fucking great. I think, I've invited a couple devs on my stream, but every once in a while they show up. The really wild one was one of the writers for E1M1 magazine showed up. Because I'm in their Discord, just showed up in the stream, and it was like the day that I got the first 3 issues delivered. That was awesome. Also had the devs for Wolfenstein Blade of Agony show up. Unfortunately, like right after they released episode 3, which was not as good as the first 2 episodes. And I was really struggling with that game. It was painful. 2 devs showed up for that one. I didn't want to do this. Exit shut. Restart. Jesus, that was fast. Okay. Gadget. Gadget. Oh, welcome, Clyde. Network settings. That's a USB symbol, right? Isn't it? Okay. We don't know which one it is, so we're just gonna flip through all of them. So we find one that's off, I guess. Aha!
All right, that should do it.
I'm having a smart brain tonight. Alright. Free Wi-Fi for all.
Not a bad idea, but I should probably switch back to Eileen's account first.
What? E. Summers. Angel. Not Angle. Not Anal Love either. It's Angel Love. Why does she want to do that? Said that was a smart idea. I don't quite get it. All right, let's call. It's called not Clyde. Hacker Dave.
Yeah?
Guess what?
You got it? Hang on.
Holy
Oh
shit.
man, I could kiss you! Figuratively, that is. I am so gonna get back at Clyde now. What are those admin credentials, by the way?
Not telling, buddy. Saving those for a rainy day.
Huh. I suppose this nice floppy I've prepared for you stays in my room then.
Sure, then I'll just have to log back on and click that pretty little lock icon again.
Now this is just emotional blackmail.
Quid pro quo, Dave.
Fine. I'll have it dropped off at your room. God damn, you're like a she-Clyde. A Clyde-ette.
Huh, that is the worst insult I have ever heard. Later, Dave.
Later, Dave. God, these guys are fast. All this for one picture. But it's been very straightforward. Well, I think I could just put the disc in right now. It's not a boot disc.
There was a floppy disk inside.
We just read it.
It's labeled Tools.
Let's just load it in. I can computer. Oh, those sounds. It's a voice forge. We're gonna have to audio analyze. Wait. Wait. Wait.
Nah, no need to
How do I do that? Okay, we'll do the image first. Oh, isn't that the cover of Metallica's Load? This is cool.
Like sushi.
I would love some sushi, yeah. Thank you. Did you have fun?
What the hell is that? Ball lightning? I'll print the whole picture for now, but there's probably more to find.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. That's the Japanese sampler.
Wow, that's a little thing, isn't it?
Yep. There's the lobster roll.
This thing?
Yeah, so good.
Oof, okay.
Did it get squished?
Oh, it's leaking a little bit.
And then the Toro samplers underneath. Can I bring you plates or?
Yeah, a plate would be awesome. Thank you. Y'all get to watch me eat sushi, because I haven't eaten yet. This one's the Toro, huh? Oh, yes. There you go.
Yeah, I saw the Toro and I was like, oh, I should get something else.
Appreciate you bringing me food.
Of course. Need anything else?
I think I'm good. Love you. Would you kick that cat out? She's on my shit list today.
Oh yeah.
Also, Retro's ready to get back up. I have not given him lunch. Dinner. So, my Molly cat is a spiteful little shit who peed in the dog's bed. He was very offended when he, smelled and licked the cat pee. As he should be. Spiteful little shit, though. Sounds like a cat thing to do. I know, right? All right. Yeah, I haven't. I have not eaten dinner yet. Oh. Come on, munch. Ah. Whew.
I already have a copy.
Didn't she say print it? Oh. No pattern. Do I just need to be in the middle of this here? Like that? Okay. That's good. Brightness anomalies form a tilted equilateral triangle.
That shape has to be significant somehow. I don't want to print that part of the image.
So are we done here then?
No, not
Oh.
quite yet. I think there's more to find in this picture.
Unusual flower over there, though. Never seen anything like it. Maybe worth printing? Good idea, but I should probably zoom in all the way.
It did not give me that option earlier.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's all there is to find in this picture.
You've reached the range. Leave a message after. Hello, Joseph. It's me, Eric.
Audio.
You people make me sick. We're never coming back. Don't call, don't write. If you ever...
It's me. You're the autist.
Get you recording. Are you recording? Recording. I think this is what I need to do.
You've reached the Rain residence. Leave a message after the beep.
You're the only one I trust now. Just call me back as soon as you can.
I'm gonna save. It's a lot of busy work to have to do again if it crashes or some shit.
Okay, Erica Wade, let's see if we can't motivate you to hear me out.
Oh. I just think voice is separated into sections. Okay. This is gonna be fun.
I don't think I need to manipulate this particular voice recording.
Okay. If this software was real, it'd be fucking awesome, right? Did I see the word let in here?
Hello, Joseph.
I don't know.
I should probably greet my intended recipient first.
Internal error. Now that's interesting. Because that was that.
What the hell? Calm down, Kathy. Think. Just think. It has to be some sick joke left in the program by Dave.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, that must be it. He is one twisted fuck.
Okay. That was unnerving. Okay. Because this is from...
Hello, Joseph. Mrs. Rain. It's me, Charles.
Oh, this isn't...
Thought I'd give you a call.
This isn't in order. I just realized it was in alphabetical order.
Thankfully, he looks nothing like his father. Listen,
Hmm?
I was
cheek roll
thinking
is
maybe
in here.
you'd like to
Ah.
come and visit.
Hey, buddy.
And what about your little Kathy?
The
Maybe
sushi.
she wants to see the baby. Well, anyways, hope
you
to
doing,
see
my
you
friend?
soon. All the best. Bye.
Kelby? Yeah, you and I are the oil.
Where are they?
They-
They look so fucking good. You need a treat, buddy? I mean, you think you do. Here you go. Love you.
Oysters are fabulous. There's a sushi tower that was
A sushi tower. How does that work?
interesting. It was like a, you know, it obviously been like, but it was like rice, avocado,
Oh, yeah.
versus sushi or tuna, and then at the table side, you smash it all together. Okay, Stinker, come on.
I saw pictures of that.
Yeah,
So what you got?
got a bunch of stuff. Right, a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hello, Joseph. Mrs. Rain. It's me, Charles. I thought I'd give you a call. Erica just had her firstborn.
Hello, Erica. I'd like... I'd like... Kathy to come visit.
I should let the recipient know who is speaking with this voice.
Okay. Hello, Erica. It's Joseph, right?
It's a boy. Hello, Joseph, Mrs. Rain. It's me.
Charles. It's me. He says it's me. It's me, Charles. I'd like to... I'd like to see... What did I do the first time? I can't remember now. I'd like to see Kathy. Rain. Soon. Because the word talk's not in here anywhere.
I don't think I need to mention visits just yet. Making Erica agree to have a civil conversation should be enough for now.
Okay. I'd like you to listen to Kathy Rain.
Almost. Just a few more tweaks.
Oh, I did it. Sweet.
That should work. $1995. The software didn't exist. It would be insane if it did. I'll just reuse the same tape and place the modified message at the end.
Hello, Erica. It's your father. Call Kathy Rain and give her what she wants. Bye.
Oh,
All right, the forged message should now be at the end of the original
that's
tape.
totally different. That's fucking totally different than what I was trying to do. What the hell? So I've never specifically had Toro before, but apparently it's the fatty belly sides of fish. It's kind of wild. They're very premium cuts of fish. All right.
You've reached Erica Wade. Leave a message after the beep.
Oh.
Hello, Erica. It's your father. Call Kathy Rain and give her what she wants. Bye.
That is so forward.
You've reached Erica Wade. Leave a message after the beep.
Hi, Erica. This is Kathy Rain. I spoke to your father. He asked me to get in touch with you and said he would call ahead. You can reach me at 555-8352. Bye.
Now we gotta wait around for that.
Your move, Erica. Oh, hello there, Mildred.
Hi yourself, Agatha.
What? How'd you... Oh, never mind.
I know your social security number too.
Oh, God. Soon you'll start stealing my clothes and then walk around in them pretending to be me.
Who says I haven't done that already?
Okay, I admit that's pretty funny.
So anyway, how did things go with Dave?
Pretty good. I had to sabotage your computer.
What?
You had to what?
Oh, chill outy. It was just a tiny little thing. I just needed an excuse for the IT guy to come by so I could steal his password.
Clyde? But he's so nice. Why'd you want to steal his password?
It's a long story. And then I used Mr. Wade's synthesized voice to craft this fake message, which I left on her answering machine.
Now that's some out-of-the-box thinking.
Yep, just might be silly enough to work.
Yeah. Anyhow, feel free to keep using my computer. I need to do some homework anyway.
Sounds good. I'm sure I found everything in the picture of those lights, but I have a nagging feeling that they're connected to something I found yesterday.
So,
I don't think I need to use that again anytime soon.
where's the picture of the lights? On the printer? Is there a printer? Here's the printout. Got it.
I'll just get rid of the original picture now, since I have the restored version anyway.
Sure.
Strange. Now that I look at them, the lights remind me of something I picked up yesterday.
Right.
That
church
logo at
brochure.
the top looks familiar. Haven't I seen something similar to it today? Wow, the church logo looks pretty similar to the smoky lights. I might have to visit them after all. Hey, E, come check this out.
Wow, they're hypnotic. Looks like a will-o'-the-wisp. You know, the spirit of the forest.
Now, that's just silly, Eileen. There has to be a more reasonable explanation for them.
Hey, there's nothing silly about forest spirits. You should talk to Meadow, my Wiccan friend. She's really opened my eyes about these sort of things.
Isn't that the same Meadow who had an intimate relationship with a tree outside her dorm?
Oh, come on. That was just a phase.
Trust me, I've been through every phase in the book. That definitely isn't one of them.
So, anyway, is there anything I can do to help?
Well, my side of the room is starting to get a bit messy. There's always that.
Haha, I meant with the investigation, silly.
I guess you could try to find out more about these lights. Maybe figure out where that picture was taken.
I know exactly where to start.
Good. I'm gonna get some food now before I pass out.
Okie dokie. I'll grab my books and get cracking.
All right, see you in a bit. Hey.
Hey!
Hey!
So,
Any progress with the search?
yeah, I was able to identify that flower. It's called the red scythe, or Rosea falcus. I discovered that there was a small nature reserve near Conwell Springs, which was established in '89. The red scythe is on their list of endangered plants. I made a photocopy of the botany book page in case you want it later.
That's something. I should go check it out. Maybe I can narrow down the place where that
89?
picture was taken.
My thoughts exactly. Here you go. The nature reserve is marked out on this map.
Jeez, you've been busy.
Well, you know, beats homework.
Amen to that. And, good work, Eileen.
Happy to help. So what?
Oh, hang on. I'll go get that.
All coming together.
Okay.
Get the phone. Sometimes they go animate and like, you know, they go to the item and sometimes you have to click it.
Hello?
This is Erica Wade calling for Kathy Rain.
Speaking.
Miss Rain, this is terribly awkward. I realize now how rude I was before. I wanted to apologize and ask if there is anything I can do.
Apology accepted. You can start by answering a few questions.
Very well.
Let's go down the list.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather that night in 81?
Not really, no. But what I do know is how it destroyed Father.
It did?
Oh, yes. The two of them were great friends once. And when Joseph was hurt, they hadn't been talking for some time. Father always hoped they would be able to reconnect one day. He kept putting it off, believing they had time. But in the end, it never happened.
So, what were things like back when they were still good friends?
Oh, they were like peas in a pod. Always sharing their war stories and laughing together. In a
Boy, her
way,
voice.
Joseph became the uncle I never had. He was around a lot when Father went out on business trips. Later on, I even met you a few times, when you were just a baby.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh, no matter, you were so little then.
Erica, I have to ask, why were you so defensive on the phone earlier when I tried to reach out?
Oh, I don't know, Kathy. Our families haven't been in touch for a long time. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but we all started drifting apart. My guess is that it had to do with Father's growing wealth. Friendship needs common ground, and we started living in different worlds. What happened to your grandfather was the final nail in the coffin. Father just couldn't bear seeing him like that, neither alive nor dead.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky? It may be an Air Force call sign.
I can't say that I do. Father had many friends in the Air Force, but no one I can recall by that name.
Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm gonna go take the dinner plate out of here. And I'll be right back, and we'll continue on. Okay. Now I'm fully focused. Let's go. That was good.
What do you know about Lily Myers?
She was a young artist who lived somewhere in Conwell Springs. Killed herself, if I recall correctly. Dreadful thing. But other than that, not much. We never knew the family.
What can you tell me about Mr. Wade?
My father is a great man. He has so many ideas, so much left to realize, which makes it hurt so much more to see him like this.
See him like what?
The illness and everything, of course.
Right. Yeah, it must be hard.
Oh, yes, indeed. I wish he wouldn't be so stubborn with his treatment. He could go to any state-of-the-art hospital, but insists on being treated in that backwater clinic in Conwell Springs.
The community clinic in the middle of town?
Yes. It's like he's given up and is just waiting for the inevitable.
Oh, and you now know where to go.
What do you know about Lily Meyer's art?
Oh, that little girl had a twisted mind, let me tell you that. Oh, my father used to have a few pieces of hers in his collection. Horrible things.
Horrible?
I couldn't understand why he ever decided to procure them in the first place.
You say used to have. Did he get rid of the paintings?
Oh, either that or he put them in storage somewhere. I haven't seen them for years. I never bothered to ask him why. Glad to be rid of them, quite frankly.
Do you know anything about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's the one and only church in Conwell Springs. I was baptized there, and I married my husband there.
Anything out of the ordinary about them?
Oh, not really. They seem like a typical church to me.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Very well. Feel free to call back if you have any more questions.
All right. Wade is in Conwell Springs. He's being treated in the clinic.
Let's rock.
That was Erica Wade. Her father is being treated at the clinic in Conwell Springs.
Being treated? He's sick?
Looks that way. Small miracle they managed to keep it out of the press.
Yeah, I suppose you're returning to talk to him?
It'll have to be tomorrow. It's quite late for that now.
I suppose. Scrabble?
Oh, you're so on. I will crush you.
You're off your game today. Is everything all right?
It's like a community room or something?
Shut up. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Oh, up late, thinking about your grandpa and everything?
Not just that, I keep having this bad dream. Well, it's not exactly a dream, it's something that actually happened.
Oh? What is it?
I'm not sure I should tell you.
You can trust me. Whatever it is, I promise I won't judge.
Well, it's your funeral. So, I used to be 16 and also pregnant.
I also used to be 16, and so did all of you. You know how I know? Because everybody in my chat has to be 18 years or older. How's that for facts?
Did you have an aneurysm just now, E?
Please, go on.
Well, seeing as how I don't actually have a 5-year-old, you can probably put 2 and 2 together.
You had an abortion.
Sure did. Major pain in the ass too, but hey, couldn't let that pregnancy go untreated.
I'm glad you're telling me, but I really wish you hadn't done that, Kathy. Who was the, you know, the...
I don't actually know his name. Could probably pick out his Johnson in the lineup, though.
Oh, ew!
Sorry. But yeah, you have to see that the situation wasn't great, parenthood-wise.
I respect your decision, but you know how I feel about this.
Oh, that's fine, because
That
it's
guy
none of
up
your
there,
fucking
he's
business.
pro-life, and I'm with him.
I get that. I gotta say, you're being really cool about this, E. I was expecting you to clutch your cross, flip the table, and storm off or something.
I'm not a walking stereotype, you know.
Says the red-headed nerd with the glasses.
Ha ha. But Kathy, if you keep having that nightmare, perhaps you should talk to somebody about it.
Maybe. But I doubt obsessing over it is very healthy either. Your turn, E.
Oh, fine.
One time at band camp?
Oh, I play Apricot, Orange. Yay, bingo. 67 points.
Well, ain't that fucking peachy.
At least it's not sour grapes.
Touche.
A tainted one approaches. Is it time? Yes, a fire that burns so bright. It is almost unbearable to see. Indeed. It seems the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Shall we sculpt some flesh friends, then? Very well. I will attend to the threshold.
Okay. Day 3. We made it to day 3. Holy shit. In like record time, too.
Good morning, sunshine.
Please tell me I dreamt all those Scrabble losses last night.
3 times in a row.
Rub it in, why don't you? I'll just go strangle myself now.
Oh, you. Don't be a sore loser. So what's the plan today?
Mr. Wade is the plan. I'll head for the clinic right away. While I'm at it, I'm gonna check out the church and the nature reserve.
Okie dokie. What can I do to help?
Why don't you continue looking into the lights? I have a feeling they're the key to solving all of this. You could also look up the history of Conwell Springs in general, see if anything unusual has been going on.
I'll get right on it.
Great. Thanks, E.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out the page I gave you about the red scythe. It's a pretty interesting flower.
Right. Yeah.
New location. Let's look at the scythe.
It's the nature reserve, where the smoky lights were photographed.
Conwell Lake, where Lily Myers met her demise.
A prominent cliff top near the highway. Likely the most popular tourist spot in the area.
Jesus Christ.
Conwell Woods. What were you doing out there, Grandpa?
Feeling like a triangle in here.
That looks like the town area itself. One of the oldest Air Force bases in the U.S. Grandpa was stationed there during the war.
Hey, E, got a sec?
Sure thing, Kathy. What's up?
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like an okay bunch to me. Just your regular old Christians. My kind of crowd.
That's just it. They seem a bit too normal. And there's that logo, too.
It could just be a coincidence, Kathy. The Holy Trinity is typically portrayed as a triangle.
I don't believe in coincidences, E. I believe in action and reaction.
Gee, you sound like a starship captain. Captain Rain of the USS Dignity. Here to save the galaxy.
Wow.
Oh, please, kill me now. What do you think of Lily Myers' art?
I actually looked her up this morning, and I couldn't find any records of her being recognized as an artist.
Yeah, I doubt there was ever a chance for that to happen. Wade bought everything shortly after she died. I only got a chance to see this one picture. Wasn't all that bad, but nothing breathtaking.
Well, maybe there's more to her art than meets the eye. Something Wade knew, and we're missing.
Yeah, maybe. So, what's your take on this Charles Wade?
I'm not sure. He sounded like a super nice guy on that tape, but media says that he's a ruthless businessman.
The tape is over 2 decades old. Maybe he's changed.
Either that or he is very different in his private life. Hard to know without actually seeing him.
I wonder what was so special about Lily Myers. Well, besides her being a talented artist who drowned herself in a lake.
I bet there's some secret about her art. Let's hope Charles Wade has some answers.
What do you think of this cocky person?
Well, the nickname makes me think of, you know, boy parts.
And you call yourself a Christian. Any ideas about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
Beats me. Maybe he found what he was looking for. Or it found him.
Did you just quote a tagline from one of those cheesy horror novels?
Maybe.
I should get back to the investigation.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Let's roll.
All right, I'm off. Peace out.
Oh my.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
And when do I get these? When do I get the... Hey, Doc, are you still around? When do these start unlocking? Like, what do you have to do? These were added in this version. White skins. Bike skins. A church first.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh, yes. I was a teenager back then. Full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Do you know anyone who goes by the nickname Cocky?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Totally the priest.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. Before I was ordained, I was a substitute teacher in her high school.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
All right, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot. and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had the whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is, when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Summer break.
What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
Okay, summer outside
No
of school.
opinion.
Got it.
He used to be a prominent figure around here, but he doesn't appear much in town these days.
Actually, he's in the community clinic
Why
right
would
now,
you tell him that?
getting medical treatment.
Oh, I wonder if it's serious.
Why would you?
Perhaps I should go talk to him. Even men like Charles Wade need a priest when they're nearing the end of the line.
Do you know anything about Lily Meyer's art?
I saw a few pieces. Gorgeous work. Vibrant, surreal landscapes.
When was this?
Must have been
What was that
mid-70s.
sound about?
High school had open days with an art exhibition.
So, this was some time before she changed, right? You didn't see any of her later work?
No. By then, she started skipping art class completely, from what I heard.
Maybe she was afraid of what she might draw. I hear it was pretty twisted.
Could be. But alas, I suppose we will never know what was truly haunting her.
I'm doing my best to find out. I don't believe the story to be as clear-cut as everyone makes it out to be.
An unusual theory. How so?
People have taken a particular interest in her art. I think there's more to it.
I wouldn't read too much into it, my child. It happens to all dead artists with any talent to speak of.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he had done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here, in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed, the stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity, as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you, the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Harsh kid.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church. Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather. And that's just because I was given a similar picture at the service the other day.
I don't need to show him that. Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child, nothing at all.
I don't need to show him that. I sincerely doubt it will come to that.
Yeah. Alright, I think I'm done here.
That's all I need for now.
Oh, this about put me to sleep.
May
Fuck.
the Lord shine his light on you.
Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights.
Can I just go in here?
Locked. Locked. It's an altar. You know, the place where... I really shouldn't. They might burn.
I think we're done here. Well, would you looky there?
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head.
Uh-oh.
What the?
Why, hello there. You have laid eyes on this dapper fellow once before, haven't you?
I don't think so, Mr. Clean. Unless seeing your face on a bottle of detergent counts.
Always the Joker, aren't you, Kathy?
It's starting to look like the
How do you
the
know
Jared
my
Leto
name?
Joker.
It is my calling to know people like you, those shackled by their past, yet yearning for change.
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending. I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the one who slipped away, filled with secrets. While she may be free in death, her cold, wet hands still trap many in painful ignorance.
What is this, Woodstock Poetry Slam? Mind speaking like a normal person?
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wow, that was something.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Fucking going right back. Like, I was doing something here.
Hello?
Yeah, what is...
Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home. That wasn't here before.
No. Red Man is what? Lily's brother. A nice red man. Red Man's nice. Right. What? No. Ripped drawing.
Hey, is this shovel taken? Good enough for me.
Okay, I guess I got a shovel now. That's awesome.
Looks like a specimen of the red scythe. It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
Okay. I'm still gonna try to dig it up, goddamn.
Not sure what I'd want to do.
Okay. Well, I think the game really wanted me to go to the Rain residence and talk to Grandma, so I'm gonna do that now.
Cute red horse. It's some old Swedish thing, I think. This paint.
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Did you need to jump
Hi,
through the
Grandma.
door?
I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you
Come here,
like.
sweetheart. Rachel, come here. Watch. I know my fingers taste like fish. My fish tastes like fingers. Oh, you smell bad.
Pretty impressed you.
Yeah, you didn't close it all the way. Or I didn't close it. Whoever was last. Why do you smell so bad? Smells like stale cigarettes. He didn't go out there and like dump that bowl on himself.
No, because I dumped that on my.
Love you, puppy dog. Even with a USB-C cable wrapped around your neck. Get out of here.
Heard you talking, and I insist on being. Guys have a good day.
Yeah, we did. He really got to yanking on the damn get out of there. Come on. Get out of there. He really got to yanking on the grapevines. Okay. Not happy about that. He went a little crazy. While I was trying to cut up things to throw in the bin for the tree we cut down. Yeah, he went really. Oh yeah, I remember when we came in was when he was going so crazy that he was jumping in and over where the pepper garden is. Hey, buddy. What you're getting, but I don't think there's anything down there you can eat. Have fun. Is my bot still just down? Because Streamlabs is not in here. Streamlabs bot, how you doing, Seek? Having a low-key stream, apparently. Let me go look into the bot thing. Maybe he wants me to, like, re-log in or something. I haven't been there in a while. I don't know. No. I'm gonna toggle CloudBot on and off. Or off and on. See if it comes in. Guess we'll see. wouldn't even see the stream. Yeah. It was a quiet night. A lot of streamers going night. I might have to move. I might move Thursdays to something else. If I don't know. We'll see. All right, Grandma.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
All of these are.
I don't think we need to discuss.
All of these are here already.
Well, gotta go, Grams. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Why did the game dump me here?
Grandma.
If there's nothing to talk to her
Very well,
about.
dear.
I don't want to show her that. Do you know anything about this flower, Grandma?
I can't say that I do. I remember seeing it growing in the woods, but I didn't think much of it at the time.
I don't want to show her that. What do you see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea, but it's quite an eerie display. What is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I found the picture hidden in the attic.
Oh, come to think of it, the trees do look similar to the ones in Conwell Woods.
Yeah, it was taken somewhere in that area. I found out that the flower in the picture matches a rare local species.
Aren't you clever? Do let me know if you come across anything else.
I don't want to show her that. I don't want to show her that.
We didn't learn anything here.
See you later, Grams.
Take care.
Oh, I will be right back. I will be right back. No.
All right. Task calls out from above. We've reached Kernan. Brace yourselves. The other citadel is trying to block us. We can't let them stop us or the good armies will be destroyed. You feel the citadel pick up speed. Through a window, you see the other flying castle loom suddenly larger. Suddenly, the two impact. Taz, you son of a gun goose silly boy.
I think there's an option to look at. I thought there was an option to see when machines should be maintained.
Okay, I'm back. How about that? There's like a piece of somebody's fish in my stuck in my tooth. Kind of driving me nuts. I was getting cold. Okay. Let's chug on, shall we? I see Streamlabs is back and playing catch up. Thank you for shouting them out, Seek. Yeah, good mod.
An electronic metal detector.
We're gonna need it eventually. Yeah, GG. What's up, Big D? I don't know why it put me here. Wait. Should I have used the phone? Maybe I should use the phone. Alright, we're going to the clinic. Every clinic, there is some shithead digging through the trash. This is the guy from the jail? Yeah.
We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through.
Oh, Simmer times are going good.
By the way, you owe me $10.
Dostover.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Dr.
Better get
CDCS.
those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a steak through.
Dr. CCS is in it. Nathan Not Great. Old School J is going to do a couple. Fiddle Man. I was going to message Frecked on my mic and see if he wanted to be a part of it. I know he's with his family right now. Or he was. So I wasn't going to bother. I was going to wait till he started streaming again and ask him. Do you want in on that? Did we already talk about this? Did I forget to add you? I can't remember. Get back to you, DOS, today. It's been like 3 weeks. Nice. Nice. I don't do Discord really, but I clicked the link. Okay. I should probably save the game after this conversation.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Did you pick like 4 or 5 games, right?
Don't
So,
all bums have a story?
For your information, this is...
So my plan for December is like I'm gonna be playing a DOS game every month, every day, right? Every weekday. My regular stream is just all gonna be DOS games for a month. That's kind of what it is. But yeah, like you want to do DOS games all month? You just want to pick 4 games and play through all of them? See, like I'm gonna pick like 20 because I need one every weekday for an hour apiece. But yeah, whatever you want to do. Just give me like, you know, the top like 3 to 5 that you're, you know, that are your like main most excited about or whatever, because I don't know how much room I'm gonna have on the t-shirt. So give me at least 5 and I'll see how the layout works, like once everybody's in it. On the 20th. So I give it to me by the 20th. Yeah. He has to playing games, not beating. That's fine. That's fine. I actively avoid beating games whenever I stream. That's why these streams exist.
It's all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
Is this voice actor an actual Hollywood actor? Is there some kind of nod going on here that I don't know? Gotta find games others might not list to. Yeah. Yeah. The entire retro community last night watched Dr. CDCS finish this. I'm seeing that knock-on effect of of doing my part 2 today. It's a thing.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Tell me about The Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns.
Well, I'm here.
For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using
You see that?
self-invented sign
Big D
language,
just
only to
admitted he didn't
realize
watch
that
it.
true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English: yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
I came in and saw that he was exactly where I left off, or like just past it, so I didn't, it was like literally 3 clicks away from where I left off. And I was like, oh, bye. I'm glad you finished it, because now I can come back to your next stream. I don't have to dodge it. Damn, I got caught.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
Jesus.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
He doesn't talk about his movies like Kilgore would.
Natural Bald Killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school.
Oh, I'd love to get copies
One
of the
day,
Statica.
He has simply had enough
That game
of
looks
all the
sweet as shit.
teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps.
Both
and
of them.
heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Thanks.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I most certainly
I think
do.
I've heard that mentioned before.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's
How many
why he
people are
was so
signing up with
messed
Dune? I
when
mean,
they
you guys
put
can
him
play
back.
whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
See, probably my main game for December, my game that I want to complete is Anvil of Dawn. And like I've been on mic to practice my mic to play that. Play it. And he hasn't done it for the past year. Watch. December 2nd. Mike plays Anvil of Dawn. Same day I do. Just watch. I'm hyped about Anvil of Dawn. I've been waiting to play that since I discovered it last December. And I finally got a copy, I got a guide. I have a computer that'll play the MIDIs now. I got MIDI all set up. Like, I'm fucking pumped. It's like a month away and I get to play that game. He's cocky.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Ah, why do I even bother?
Back in Nam. He said he was getting conscripted for the war. Did he serve in the war? Do we know that?
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Ooh.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out.
Now that's an
Oops.
understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
No, wait a minute.
Do you know who?
Yep, my dad was...
Really?
Ah, geez, not a lot. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people friendly.
Oh, sure,
Now
got
that's-
it. Okay.
Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
Really?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Do you
pick
know
up Alley
anyone
Cat
else
as well.
who was involved in the old church?
Not really, I tried to stay
Only
as
one
far
streamer
away
on
from
Twitch
those
that can
people
play
as
Alley Cats. You know the
Isaac
rules.
about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right, I might do that. Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Yeah, me cat has redeemed for it. Nice.
I had a few.
Fire away.
I don't need to show him that. Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlighten.
Oh my god, that long thought he had. And request that you play it often, so you do? I've missed that.
Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years.
Grew up.
I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Maylin and Little Pink.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy.
Jesus Christ.
That'd be one raggedy.
Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other 2?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. I don't need to show him that. Want to smoke, buddy?
Nah, I got stage 2 lung cancer. I'm keeping it under control with a fruitarian diet.
What? What is a fruitarian diet?
I could, but only if I had a really good reason.
The fuck is a
Okay,
fruitarian
that's enough
diet?
serious questions
Like
for
just
now.
fruit?
Alrighty.
Okay, I think we're done with
Okay,
him.
I'm off.
Bye.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that.
Good lord, the distance between her eyes. There is something, ain't it?
No thanks. I have better things to do.
What are you doing, nurse? Oh, she got headphones on. She's bobbing her head. All right.
Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
I need to get rid of her somehow.
No thanks.
What? We can't set those on fire?
Oh, I do enjoy burning things.
No point. I wouldn't even know what room to go to.
Oh.
Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging.
Well, we're gonna use our dude as
I
a.
can't read it from here. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. A computer. Uncomfortable, hard plastic chair.
Okay. Let's go talk to Goober. Oh.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best. The very best.
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies. And that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
I think Jacob's bladder.
Definitely Jacob's bladder.
I'm feeling the pressure. Oh, Jenny, everything is forgiven. You and me were like peas and carrots. I'm just so full of your love that I think I'm about to burst.
I don't want to interrupt the show.
Where did you go? Oh, I don't feel
A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it.
You've been a great audience.
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow.
Yeah, I mean, she just said she wasn't going to.
doofus.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sure.
Natural bald killers would be.
Bald move.
Bold move. GG.
Fernando, you've been such a good friend. I can't thank you enough for making me whole again. Turn this
I don't want to
breathtaking gold.
I don't want to.
Such as the world has never seen. Okay, Doctor. I'm counting down now. 10.
I'm trying to cut down on the pyromania.
7.
I prefer to smoke out.
Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
I'm trying to get to the computer, right?
That wasn't really a.
How are you gonna intervene?
Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant.
Oh, hi.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sure.
Probably.
Oh, Alcasuelo, how I wish I could speak. I have so many things left to say.
No point. I wouldn't even know what.
No, it can't be. Hold.
I don't want to.
Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
What am I supposed to do here? I mean, I'll go play the last one, but I don't think... Taser? I need to taser him. Doesn't matter what show I pick if it's a taser. Alright. We'll try that.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sure.
How about
business? I can't believe you guys did all this for me.
That's it.
You know,
There it is.
What's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse? He's seizing. Oh shit. Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to
Yeah. Fuck.
Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse. Rows and columns of... Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez.
C. Mendez.
A calendar from 1990.
1991. Let's try it. Worth a try. No phones here.
No point. A calendar from 1991. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez.
C. Mendez 1 2 3.
It's labeled boot.
Crap. Looks like I have to figure out the username some other way.
I'm actually surprised that worked in one try. Autorogator. Otorgador. Otorgador. We're in. Fuck was his name again? Charlie? Charles?
Grandpa in uniform with 2 other men. Something is handwritten on the back.
Cannot remember what his last name is. Chat, you remember? I know if the other guy was just looking. Oh shit. Wade. Charles Wade. There we go.
Gotcha.
Six to 8 weeks. Stable. Alright. 6-8B. 6B.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
Some Silent Hill fucking music right here.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for you?
I'm not pressed.
Page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
You're assuming a lot, Mr. Wade.
Guilty as charged. It's a stance I find remarkably effective for a man with little time and a tendency to be correct.
You might want to rethink that attitude. I have a history of surprising people.
Is that so? Very well, I'll indulge you for now. Who are you then?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Let's fucking go down the list.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
Yeah, so you could be smug now.
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
That was so much exposition.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Now that is a fucking plot twist. Yeah, I expected that to have more meaning, but no, he was being a fucking leech on misery.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Where her mom is?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
Feels like the
I
church.
assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sioux and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
I don't need to show him that.
Why not?
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
I don't need to show him that. Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
I don't need to show him that. I don't need to show him that.
Okay, I think we're done
Thanks,
here.
Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
I'll bother you with flowers.
A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here. Looks like Wade brought some of his old... Just some boring landscape paintings. Just some boring That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.
Oh, bud. So we're heading over to the sheriff's police department now. I think it's the first area that doesn't go to the bike when you exit. Well, no, that's not true. That was like 3 deep, wasn't it? And who is that little boy? Okay, let's do this first. Seagull. What's that about?
Looks like there's a small dock with a couple of boats. Nah, I need those for self-intoxication. Not sure what I'd...
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this. I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
I don't need to ask her about that. Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's a good church. I go there from time to time. I bring Nate, too, when that boy needs the fear of God put into him.
Do you know who the Red Man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The Red Man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town who
Hey
could be
Jay,
referring
how
to?
you doing?
No
Figured you'd be
way.
streaming by now.
According to Nathan, the Red Man.
This
hasn't
game,
changed
I
in
really like
30
this game.
years.
A lot. Really like this game.
The Red Man actually exists. I met him in the forest.
What? That's crazy talk. Stop kidding around. I am not in the mood.
Let's save it about the director's cut. I never played the original. I only played the first day of the original, so I guess I don't know. I could tell in this one when I played it. That there were some new voice lines added in the first day. They had a different tone to them.
Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was a nighttime scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating above the lake. There was a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface trying to touch them. The forest in the background was on fire, making the sky purple and red. And there were probably other details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it. Do you know anything about this flower?
Sure, smoked it a few times back in the day, before it was endangered and all.
Yeah? What was it like?
Similar to pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched the stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right.
Huh.
Do you know what this key opens?
Well, that's a bit of a
No reason to show her that. Hey, Sue, do you reckon...
Well, there's Joseph Rain. And... No way.
Are you
I'm positive.
That's... No reason to...
Okay, I think I'm done here.
I think...
Sure thing, little...
You're behind again on your stream? What time are you going live tonight?
Oh, I do enjoy...
What are you playing tonight? Oh, 10:15-ish? Okay. To the sheriff's department. Yeah. That's a fact. This plant.
Hey, Lenny.
Fucked.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Nah, I don't want to ask. Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
You're joking, right?
Oh, never mind.
Google, huh?
Well, gotta
I
go.
would love to hear your take on that one.
Uh-oh. I think it's time to switch to decaf.
Love to hear your take on Fugle.
Hello, Sheriff. Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss?
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86?
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
Do I have it? There was one more thing. Sheriff. Just one more thing.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
What the hell are you talking about?
Never mind. Do you know what this is?
Ah, it's just some kids playing pranks with flashlights.
I probably shouldn't. He might ask where. Do you recognize this flower?
1995.
Matter of fact, I do. It's a local endangered plant with mild narcotic properties.
Yeah?
1995 is the year right now.
Sure, but it's a bit tricky to do anything about it. Using it as a substance is technically legal.
Ah, so the illegal part is picking it in the first place.
Yes, knowingly picking the flower is a crime, according to the Endangered Species Act of 1973.
Gotcha, thanks.
Fascinating.
I'll hang on to it for now.
Okay.
Good.
Let's see if you have anything to say about the picture. No, she's got a great look.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
10 years ahead of her time. Yes.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
Okay. Okay, Detective Bravery.
Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Cadet Courage. Let's go here. I need to read the file. That's what I need. Figure out where to go next. The alarm in the Wade estate is triggered. The house is empty at the time, and the neighbors contact law enforcement. 2 a.m. Officers arrive on the scene. Several broken windows can be observed. A sweep of the estate's surrounding premises reveals no trace of perpetrators. A single witness identified as Franklin Goldfarb reports seeing multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Cornwall Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that the paintings with in excess of $15,000 have been stolen. The art in question has not yet popped up in any circles that are known to deal in stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of details.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary.
Well, let's go to the phone book.
Nah, nothing like... No result for that. Nope, couldn't find...
Look for the red man.
Nah, nothing... No Goldfarb in here. Maybe he moved?
Ask Grandma. See what Grandma's gotta say. Jesus Christ. This yawning has gotten insane. Think about raiding UJ when you go live, but I might not stay awake long enough. I'd like to get out of day 3. That's kind of my goal right now.
Oh, hello, dear.
Ate all that sushi and now I just can't stop yawning.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man, maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that, Jay.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Oh, that poor man. He used to be an upstanding citizen, you know. Now he's constantly drinking and keeps babbling on about that imaginary acting career of his.
Oh, fuck.
Sad thing. Do you know where I can find him?
He's homeless, dear. Lost his job a few years ago and never really got back on his feet.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Thanks, Grandma. Looks like I'm gonna have to have a chat with Goober.
Didn't he say his name was
See you later,
Franklin?
Grams.
Take care.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Sorry.
Very well, dear.
I don't want to show her that. What do you see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea.
Oh? Yeah.
All right.
Well, gotta
bye.
So he's in the hospital. We're going there. Because we tased his ass. Ugh, she's back.
I need a word, Miss Mendez.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's written on that board behind you, genius.
You have the eyesight of a bald eagle or something?
What can I say? I'm a freak of nature. What happened to Goober, anyway?
Who?
The guy who had the seizure?
Oh, he ran off somewhere. Kept babbling about a religious near-death experience.
Okay, thanks.
He's not here. He's not here. Yeah, oh, the church, maybe? Maybe he went to the church. Try that. Listen, Father, I gotta tell you. There he is, there he is, there he is, right there.
Hello again, Goober.
You again? Are you stalking me, girl? You pop up everywhere I go. I'll try to tone down the charm, but I can't promise anything.
Ha!
Huh, yeah, you're quite the charmer.
I know. I just said that, man.
Listen, I feel kind of bad about the electrocution.
Oh, that's what it was. What a cherry on top of my stellar performance.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
So what brings you to the house of God? Come to repent?
I'm afraid that ship has long since sailed, buddy. I had a few things I wanted to ask you about, though.
Shoot, Missy!
I don't need to ask. I should probably confront him directly about him being a witness. I don't need to ask. Your real name is Franklin Goldfarb, right?
Oh, nobody calls me that.
Regardless, I know for a fact that you were a witness to a burglary a few years back at the Wade Estate.
Yeah, what about it?
Why don't you tell me what you saw exactly?
I heard the alarm go off, glass breaking, then I saw 3 guys running away, carrying a bunch of stuff.
3? I thought it was 2.
What did they look like?
It was dark. I don't know. They were definitely 3 big, bulky guys. They
what?
Oh, nothing. That's it. Didn't see anything else.
Bullshit. Spit it out.
Well, one of those guys dropped his ring when running away. I sort of pawned it.
A ring? What kind of ring?
Platinum with an inscription. 2 letters. B... something. Man, I don't remember. My photographic memory stopped working in 1979.
Which pawn shop was that?
Pete's Pawning and Plumbing. It closed down a long time ago, though. Owner left town. There's a coffee shop back there now.
Too bad. Guess that's a dead end. Thanks anyway. Didn't I see 2 letters fitting that description recently? Not on a building. It was something small.
BH.
Did the inscription on the ring look anything like this?
Wow, actually exactly like that.
Any idea what BH stands for?
Beehive? Bet high? Big head?
Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks. I missed the...
Okay.
Do you know what this key opens?
Your heart, mademoiselle?
Oh, brother.
Ah!
I already asked him. I don't need to. Okay.
See ya.
Hello, Isaac.
I'm all
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
This may sound strange, but have you heard of or seen a strange man dressed in red?
The devil!
Only our Lord and Savior Jesus. Surely his rags were drenched in blood as he lay upon the cross.
That's not what I meant. I mean someone here in Conwell Springs.
Are you joking? I haven't seen a person like that, no.
Do you know what BH means? It's inscribed on this lighter.
I'm sorry, but no.
Okay.
That's all I need for now, Father.
I got,
the Lord shine his light.
you know, I got 2 locked doors here. Why not? Why not try it?
Nope, not the right key.
Walk all the way over there.
Nope, not the right
Oh
key.
my god, that was like 30 seconds. We haven't been to the cemetery in day 3. Up in here.
Rest in peace.
We still don't know what the hell is up with that little kid that was here.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Do you recognize the acronym BH? It's on Dad's lighter.
Yes, dear, it means the Black
All right,
Hats.
have a good night, Zeke.
They're those ruffians on motorcycles whom your father is associated with.
Oh, his biker gang. That makes sense. What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
I refuse to talk about those hoodlums. They turned your father into a horrible person. You should stay far away from them, Kathy. They're awful people, just awful.
That took a weird turn. Let's go ask the police about him.
Well, gotta go.
Bye, Kathy.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
They've caused us trouble from time to time, but they've been kind of quiet lately. We put a few of their captains in the slammer over the years, but we never managed to find enough dirt on their leader. Bo Brunson. Big Bo.
Do you know where I can find them?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just find a map.
Got it. Thanks.
Really? That gave us a new location. Guess you're going on a lurk, Jay.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask... What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Why, you care to join? I'm sure they'd be real impressed by your big bike, but that's a man's club.
Let's just say I have a healthy curiosity.
I'd say your curiosity borders on mental illness. You have a death wish? Bikers don't mess around with little girls.
You gonna help me or not, Sheriff?
Not really. Go bother Lenny with it.
That's all
Okay,
for now.
Done here.
Good.
See, sometimes when you're walking or whatever, you can double click on the exit and it'll teleport you. Should probably save before I did this.
Sweet butt incoming!
Sweet butt.
Like hell I am. I'm nobody's property.
You sure? Doesn't she look like a sweet butt? I think she does.
Step off, creep.
Or what? You tell your daddy on me?
You better learn quickly, asshole. Back the fuck off.
Oh, I love it when they play hard to get.
Let go of me! Let me... Let me... No time for that now.
What the fuck do you want me to do?
Let me go.
But oh, the fucking taser, the
Yeah,
taser,
that
the
thing would be
taser.
Yeah, that thing would be pretty fucking useful right now.
What the hell's going on out here?
Nothing, Prez. Just having a bit of fun with this gash here.
I suggest you leash that dog of yours.
For fuck's sake, Prospect, not again. Get the hell out of here.
Sorry, boss. I'll go.
Aww.
He'll be disciplined for that.
He better be. I take it you're Bo?
I am. And who are you, darling?
Kathy Rain.
Bullshit. She lives in the city with her deranged mother. Who are you really? Did the Vandals send you?
No, they didn't. I am Kathy Rain.
Prove it then.
Well, I would, but I left my ID back home.
That's convenient. I think I've wasted enough time with you.
I need to figure out some proof.
Hand him the goddamn lighter.
This proof enough for you?
I'll be damned. That's Brian's lighter, all right. Sorry about the paranoia. We've had some problems with the Vandals lately.
I get it. Can't be too
Biker
careful.
hothead, yeah.
So, that's your ride out there. Gorley Motors, right? 78?
76.
You got the same taste as your old man. He always rode Corley's.
Probably the only thing he and I have in common.
Did you set up those mods yourself? Looks custom made for your, small frame.
Yeah, took some time to get the measurements right.
I imagine so. Girls like you don't often ride heavy bikes.
I'm not most girls.
Ain't that the truth? Most girls don't just waltz into places like this either.
I guess you'd know.
Straight out of Full Throttles, is it? It was a throwback.
Go
Nice.
ahead, then. Your old man was a good brother, so I'll indulge you for now.
Do you know anything about what happened to Joseph Rain in 1981?
No, we had our differences, me and him, but that's a horrible fate for a man. I'd rather be dead than
I have not played Full Throttle. I've
So
watched
I
some
take it
streamers
you
play a
and him
little
didn't
bit
get
of it.
along.
No, I could write a book about that man. On one page,
I think it was back to my mic. I don't remember though.
Smash his skull in. He could be a real self-righteous prick when he wanted to, that's for sure. But everyone knew he was the real law around here. Truman was a tool. I respected Joseph, and he respected me, but he hated how Brian looked up to me. Joseph always blamed the club for the path Brian chose in life, even though it was just due to him being a shitty father.
Wow.
You seriously thought Grandpa was a bad parent?
Everybody knew about it. People just tend to forget the bad qualities of men in wheelchairs. Joseph wasn't a saint. He saw everything in black and white. He was only kind to whomever he considered to be good by his narrow moral standards. The ones who wouldn't fit in that small mold didn't get any chances. None whatsoever.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
No.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers?
Nothing that anyone else around here couldn't tell you.
Tell me, how long have you been the president of this club?
15 years now, give or take. And VP for 10 before that.
Good. Then you can tell me why you stole Lily Myers' paintings from Charles Wade in '86.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'd recommend you be careful with wild accusations like that.
Fine. Is there anything I can do for the club to earn your trust?
You mean like cleaning the toilets? Making coffee? I think we got that covered, Cupcake.
Spare me your sexist bullshit. I can take care of business.
You're nothing like your old man, you know that?
I take that as a compliment.
You do that. In any case, I've had enough of this nonsense. Stop pushing your luck.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
Do I look like a pious man to you? I've peed on churches.
This may be a weird question, but have you ever met a bald man dressed in red?
I've made a few bald men red. That count?
Not really.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Black Hats MC was founded in the 60s by my old man, my uncle, and 2 other local bikers. Conwell Springs is the mother chapter, and we have support clubs in 6 other locations across 3 states. There's a total of 16 members here, 12 patch, 4 prospects. I'm the acting president of this chapter as well as of the whole club. Have been for more than 15 years.
The law give you any trouble?
It used to be tough when your granddad was around. He and Truman ran a tight ship.
And now?
Now they try, but Boyks and the boy are a nuisance at best.
Do you know what this is?
Whoa.
What? Do you recognize that?
I saw one of those with my own eyes a few years ago.
Really? Where?
Middle of the woods, the road to the city. Those things came from nowhere and gave me this crazy headache right on the plate in my head. At the time, I thought it was just a nasty case of migraine.
You have a plate in your head?
Yeah, titanium from a shrapnel wound I got in Nam.
I see. Titanium isn't the least bit magnetic, is it?
How the hell should I know? I'm no scientist.
Do you remember where exactly on the road it happened?
No. Like I said, I dismissed it as a migraine. Didn't pay too much attention as to where I was.
Fair enough.
Now that's interesting.
Do you know anything about this flower, Bo?
Do I look like a florist to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You crack me up, girl.
Hey, Bo, any idea of what this key opens?
You ask weird questions.
I don't need to show him that. I don't need to show him that. I don't need to.
I think we're done here.
All right, I'm gonna hit the road.
Right on. I have some business to take care of, but make yourself at home.
Thanks, Bo. See you around.
Hey, Brian's girl.
Yeah?
I overheard you. I'm Emmett.
Hey.
The boss man isn't usually that grumpy. He's got a lot on his mind. But I think I may know of a way to loosen him up.
I'm all ears, buddy.
He was not very
Bo and
grumpy.
Brian, or the double Bs as we used to call them. They used to have this drink together. Brian came up with it. He called it a Bloodier Mary.
Sounds like my kind of drink.
Yeah, it's basically a Bloody Mary, but with pig blood instead of tomato juice.
I take that back. Gross.
I'm kidding. It's just a Bloody Mary, but with a special ingredient added to it.
If you say that special ingredient is blood, I will literally punch you.
No, Brian refused to tell anyone what it was. He only made it for special occasions. It's probably something uncommon, like a rare herb or some kind of expensive
fucking flour.
spice.
So let me guess. If I can produce this drink for Bo, you think he would help me out?
It'll make him remember Brian, which should go a long way. He hasn't had that drink since your old man disappeared. Brian was like a son to him. The boss would have died for him back in the day. If you could recall the good times with your father, he might change his mind.
I guess it could be worth a try. But wait, why are you helping me?
You're Brian's kid. That means you're family. We take care of family.
Well, how was that drink compared with a regular Bloody Mary?
Tasted a bit more like pepper and had a punch to it. It usually gave some pretty nasty hangovers. Oh, if you had a lot of them,
23 out of 10. Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
Shit. Pretty
Premium.
wild.
Trippy. Thanks.
You're welcome, darling.
Well, we know where we have to go. We gotta go to the woods. We gotta get that flower. Might be why we need the shovel. I don't know. Okay. Oh. This is a very long chapter.
Sorry, endangered flower, but I really need to make a drink.
Hello, squirrel. What is with the squirrel? You want to see more of this? Hey, starting up your stream now? Cool. Oh my god. Have fun, Jay.
Hey, bartender, do you happen to know how to make a Bloodier Mary?
You mean a Bloody Mary?
No, this is something different.
Afraid not. I can make your regular Bloody Mary, though, if you want.
Maybe later. I need to figure something out.
All right, then.
Get it to him?
I'd like a Bloody Mary.
Coming right up.
Oh, and add this, will you? Just something I like for flavor. Put it in a blender.
Whatever you say. One Bloody Mary. Enjoy.
Thanks, buddy.
The club will cover that, Jose?
Sure thing, VP.
Thanks again, Emmett.
You got it.
Not sure where that leads, but I don't think I have.
Oh, here he's sitting over here.
Hey, Bo, I have some.
I'm listening.
All right, I'm gonna hit.
Ride safe.
Hey, Bo, I've got something for you.
I recognize that smell. You found your dad's recipe.
Something like that.
Man, is this a trip down memory lane? I keep expecting Brian to walk in here any second. You know, all this nostalgia is making me remember how much I really owe your old man.
Yeah?
Yeah, so here's the deal. In '86, Carl, my VP at the time, came to me and said he had a job lined up for the club. Some guy had offered him good dough for stealing a bunch of paintings from a mansion. He needed 2 brothers for the job. I was busy with other things at the time, so I gave my permission as long as the club got the usual cut. He returned a week later with a nice wad of cash. I didn't realize it was Wade he had knocked off until I read the paper. If I had known that, I'd advised against it. Wade is a powerful man with friends in city council. There's no reason to piss him off.
Got it. So, what do you know about the guy who hired you for the job?
Not much. Carl said it was some bearded preacher.
Whoa, Isaac from the Church of the Holy Trinity?
Could be. I don't know who that is. It was a priest. I know that much.
Thanks, Bo. I'm gonna follow up on this right away.
That's it? You're not gonna ask me about what happened to your old man? Not even curious?
I couldn't give 2 shits about that asshole.
Bullshit. Don't expect anyone to believe you're that angry with someone you don't give 2 shits about.
Either he's dead or he abandoned me. Do any of those options look appealing to you?
They don't, but you should know that no one from the club had anything to do with it. I meant it when I said Brian was a good brother. He had no enemies here. Not then, and not now.
Comforting to hear, Mr. President.
Shut up and listen, girl. I'm trying to tell you something. Brian used to talk about heading to Mexico, about riding off into the sunset and getting away from all his newfound responsibilities. And I think part of him was serious. You deserve to know that there's a chance he's still out there somewhere.
Sure. Let's hope that bastard is living it up somewhere.
Just take care of yourself, you hear?
You too. That day went by fast. I think I'm gonna ask if I can stay the night at Grandma's.
That was like the longest level. Holy shit, it lasted forever. Call our roommate. See if she dug up some stuff before we end this.
Hi, this is Eileen speaking.
Hey E, it's Kat. I just thought I'd tell you that I'm gonna stay the night here.
Okie dokie. Everything went fine today?
Definitely. Let's catch up tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Gonna ask about that other. About Cocky.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help?
Hi.
Sure thing, man.
Do you know anything about a pilot named Jimmy Cochran? He was assigned to your base during World War II. Maybe even longer?
Hold on, let me check. Yes, Jimmy Cochran, fighter pilot born 1922, tour of duty in Japan from 41 to 42, honorably discharged for health reasons. Spent some time as a civilian pilot elsewhere in the U.S. until he returned to the Flight Academy here in the capacity of a teacher. Mr. Cochran was the major proponent of opening up the academy to civilian students. He continued teaching at this base until a sudden resignation in 1983 for unspecified reasons.
All right, thanks.
Huh.
I don't see a reason. I don't see a reason.
Good. All done.
All right, that's.
Goodbye, man.
reached Erica Wade.
I think we're good here. I'm gonna talk to Grandma and end this day before I fall asleep on stream.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hey, Grandma, it got kind of late. Would it be okay if I stay the night?
Of course, dear. Have a seat. I'll make you something to eat.
Oh, you're the best. I'm starving.
That's the boy.
Do you see? You are bound to her, and she to you. The separation is an open wound, a tear that can only be cauterized in agony. For our God is a consuming fire.
This is Lily's apartment, or where her mom lives, where Sue lives, Sue's house. Page 4. All right. I just recognized it.
Lily's painting.
Hey, Mr. Tampa.
Burning, and the kid
Welcome
from
in.
the
Hope you're having a
cemetery.
wonderful day
It's gotta
night.
mean something.
Okay. Day 4. That is, unfortunately, where I'm going to call it for tonight, because I'm having such a hard time staying awake. I will play this more on Tuesday. 7:06 a.m. It's only 10 o'clock for me, p.m. But, good lord. I feel like I just got hit by a truck, like as soon as I went live 3 hours ago. It's only been 3 hours. Has it been? Yeah, 3 hours. Usually it's like a 6-hour stream. I just can't do it today. So I'm gonna find somebody awesome to raid. And we will get back to this probably on Tuesday night next week. But normal stream, daily stream tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific. Was it? What was it? Planet Alpha. Planet Alpha tomorrow. Hey, Mr. Tampa, thanks for the follow. Sorry I'm like calling it just as soon as you showed up, but yeah, I'm gonna get back after this game on Tuesday. We'll check out Planet Alpha tomorrow, which is, I think it's like a survival crafting game. Kind of my whole thing for my daily stream is checking out a new game for an hour to 3 hours every day. Kathy Rain's one of the ones that I've set aside that I actually want to finish. Awesome. All right, let's find somebody cool to raid. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. Super appreciate you. Is Jay live yet? Alright, so we'll hang out with Emmy. Love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great night. I'm just gonna go straight to bed. Holy shit. I am tired.
And you just go away? No birds. No birds. Okay.